thank you for joining us for our press conference today ahead of our Sweet 16 matchup against Nebraska. Joining us today is Naghede, Joslyn Hayes, Alexa Smith, and head coach Jesse Mahoney. We will open it up to questions to start. Start things off with Neil Lowe.
Jesse, just tell us how important it is and how big a deal it is for you guys to get to the Sweet 16.
I mean, we're really excited to be where we are. We didn't really make this one of our goals for the season. We don't talk in terms like that. We've been talking about, getting better in the preseason, getting better in the first half of the Pac-12, getting better in the second half and really peaking for the NCAAs. I think all those things we've done, and so we don't look at this as an end result or an end goal. It's just this is the next match in front of us, and we're going to prepare and go out and play.
For the players, Joslyn, I asked you a little bit about this last week, but wondering how much being in the Pac-12 helped you out on that stage last week, and especially the game against Baylor, having played tough teams on their home court. Did that experience help the team out, especially in that win?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Pac-12 really prepared us for this because, as you saw, there was, I think, 9 of the 12 teams made it to the tournament, and I want to say 5 or 6 were still in it. So obviously every match in the Pac-12 was really difficult and really challenging, and I think really prepared us for teams like Baylor going into that weekend.
Coach, Nebraska is a team that has gone to 5 sets only twice this year. They've not lost in almost 2 months now. Does the first 2 games of the tournament winning in such convincing fashion, do you think that provides a bit of an extra confidence boost heading into this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I think just piggybacking on to what Lex said. I mean, we've played a lot of great matches this season against a lot of really good teams. We've played Penn State, Illinois, in the Big Ten, and then Baylor in the Big 12, and then obviously everyone in the Pac-12. And so we understand that Nebraska is very, very good. We understand that certainly lately they've been dominant, I think you can say. But we're going to go out and do what we do and play the game that we play. And we feel like we've been competitive with everyone we played this year. And if we go out and play our game, we feel like we have a good opportunity to play with anybody.
Jesse, for us old folks, Nebraska has a special meaning when it's Colorado, Nebraska. Do you have to explain to these young ladies what Nebraska means?
Yeah, I'm not sure. They don't know that there was a Big 8, much less a Big 12. And then now Nebraska's moved on to the Big 10. So I have some trivia questions for them to start practice. We'll see how they do, but there is obviously a long history with Colorado and Nebraska. Volleyball wise, I remember watching some of those matches in the early 90s, and I know some great matches in the 2000s before they left. So we're excited to renew the rivalry a little bit.
For the ladies, what do you know about Nebraska other than that they're really good right now?
Well, I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but coming in, it was kind of the talk of the town that there was a huge rivalry between Colorado and Nebraska, and Colorado went up to them a couple times, being the underdogs and stuff like that. So that was pretty big. But that's pretty much to the extent of my knowledge.
Naghede, I wanted to ask you about your, working relationship with Anna Pfefferly in the middle. I know when you got here 2 years ago, kind of a raw player, still relatively new at the game, and now you're at the end of 3 seasons having played together. I mean, just how far have the two of you kind of come along, and how much more confident have you gotten working together in the middle of the defense there?
Anna's great, honestly. She's been a huge help, especially helping me transition to the college game and just helping me grow my, my volleyball IQ over the past 3 years. Again, like you said, I was very raw, and I still am in many aspects. But I think like just having her there she's a very good support system and always there to help me figure out where I went wrong or what I did right. But yeah, she's great, and it's awesome to have her as a fellow middle.
Coach, I'm wondering, with your history coaching across the state, when you guys make it to this stage after that final set, is your phone just blowing up with people that you've known throughout the years or coached with throughout the years, congratulating you, and just what is that like?
Yeah, it was great. I think probably everyone's phones were blowing up. Yeah, people want to talk to you when you're winning, that's for sure, right? So, yeah, a lot of congratulatory notes. Other coaches around the country, former players, reached out and said congrats, and excited for our program, and excited for these players to have done what they've done, and obviously everyone still looking forward to the next match too.
Was it special that all the three major programs in the state made it to the tournament this year? Obviously you guys are the last ones left, but does that say something about the state of volleyball, in Colorado right now as well?
Absolutely. And I've been a part of all three of those programs too, and I know, the people there are all really quality people. The administrations are all, fantastic administrations, and they really prioritize volleyball, which is really good for our sport. It would have been nice if we could all gotten together in one place. That didn't quite happen. But yeah, there's a lot of great volleyball in the state of Colorado.
How has that maybe changed over the years from your early days coaching to now? Just the volleyball scene in the state, the strength of some of these programs.
I think Colorado State and Colorado have always been really strong. I think the more in-state talent that stays in state can really feed those programs. The University of Denver has come on, I think, recently and they've been to the last 4 NCAA tournaments. So there's always really good talent in this state. Unfortunately, there's some good talent on some other teams where we have an opportunity to play still. But we're looking forward to making that happen.
Alexa, I believe you had a chance to play in the NCAA tournament as a freshman at Purdue, and I know you wanted to transfer, be closer to home last year, but obviously it was such a struggle for the team. Was there any point last year you went from this NCAA tournament team to a team that struggled? Was there any sort of what have I gotten myself into moment at all, second thoughts at all?
Never, not once. Honestly, I was just so happy to be back in the state of Colorado under this coaching staff and with these girls, and I never doubted that once. And so I think that we realized that was a disappointing end to our season, and throughout the spring and through the summer and going into the fall, we put in that work that we wanted to get back to the tournament and get to where we are now.
Did having that experience at Purdue, did that help at all last weekend with any nerves or expectations going into the NCAA tournament?
I would say a little bit. Having experience played in the tournament, obviously when I was at Purdue we played at Texas, so playing a top team like that was a great experience, and I think it made me grow as a player and helped me to get to where I am today.
Joslyn, you guys ended the regular season with a loss versus Utah, but these 2 back-to-back wins in the tournament that have been so impressive. Do you have a sense at all that the stars are aligning a little bit, that you're playing your best volleyball when you really need to here in the tournament?
I don't know about the stars aligning, but I do know an athlete's mind and competitive nature. And when you need to show up, you will show up. So I think that the competition level that our team has been playing at has come at the right time because we kicked into gear. We knew it was do or die. We know it's win or go home. So I think that's exactly what we kind of been doing, is showing up in big moments.
For any of the players, your coach mentioned earlier that the Sweet 16 wasn't necessarily something you guys wrote down or talked about at the beginning of the year, but the way that he's been able to motivate you guys to where you're peaking at this point in the season, just when you think about what this coaching staff's done this year, what stands out in having you guys ready to where you are right now?
One of the things that stands out the most for me is that they put a big emphasis on baby steps, not necessarily verbatim saying baby steps, but Jesse and the coaching staff is always talking about getting better 1% each day. And that really puts an emphasis on, okay, well, I can't control what's going to happen 3 games from now, I can't control what's going to happen tomorrow, but I can control what's going to happen right now. And I think that's a huge mindset that everybody has, and that's what we're focusing on is in this moment. So I think right now everybody's focusing on practice today. How are we going to get better? And then when the moment comes, that first point against Nebraska.
Jesse, I think you tweeted about midway through the Pac-12 conference that you were really excited for the second half of the schedule. You were about 500 at that point in the league. Did you sense something special was about to happen?
I think that I've really felt like we've gotten better every time out, certainly every week out. And we went 5-5 in the first half, and we still felt like we hadn't hit our ceiling. We had room to grow, and we had a little team meeting and talked about what we wanted to accomplish in the second half of our season, and really felt like we could get better, and I think we really did that. And we went 7-3 in the second half, and we were competitive in every even the 3 losses that we had. We felt like we let them slip away as opposed to we lost, and so going into the NCAAs, coming off a loss to Utah, that season was over, and now we're focused on the next thing, and so we're excited to be where we are, but the Baylor weekend's over, and now we're focused on the next thing.
You tell us a little bit about Nebraska, what we should expect from Nebraska, and kind of how you game plan the game.
You want to know our game plan against Nebraska? Yeah. So, not to be understated, but they're very good. I think they had 4 or 5 players on their all-region team. There's multiple future All-Americans on this team. Their setter is as good as we've seen this season, and we've seen a lot of really good ones. They have 5 attackers that are averaging over 2 kills per set, which is very hard to do. That means they spread their offense around. It's tough to game plan against a team that is happy to set anybody anywhere. Defensively, I think they hold teams to, I think, 146 or something like that, a really low percentage, which is hard to do in the Big Ten. So they're very well coached. They're very well prepared. They play in another premier conference. So that's a long-winded way of saying they're really, really good. I think we've seen teams like them during the season, and we've had really competitive matches against teams like them during the season. So there's not going to be any surprises when we step on the floor. We'll go through our normal prep, and we'll put in a game plan, and we'll adjust that game plan as the match goes on, like we do in every one of our matches. And we expect it to be a very competitive match.
Coach, for you and Alexa, coming in as maybe an underdog, do you feel that intimidation from them? And how do you like that role as an underdog, and how do you think you would like to respond to that?
Do you want me or Lex? Lex, go ahead.
I think at this point, the only pressure that we get is the pressure we put on ourselves. So I think, not saying the pressure's on them, but coming in as an underdog is pretty fun. I think we have the opportunity to play really well this weekend, and I think with the way our coaches prepare us, we can beat anyone at this point in the season. So we're excited about the challenge ahead of us.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think we have an underdog mentality in anything that we do, really. We've, ever since I've been here, the players that I've been around, the staff, the administration, that's just not the mentality that we have. So, on paper, we've been underdogs a bunch. We've won a bunch of those matches. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen this time, but that's just not how we look at things.
For Alexa, you growing up down the road in Colorado Springs, has it sunk in that you're sitting here in a Sweet 16 in the state that you grew up in, and kind of what it means to represent your state at an NCAA tournament right now?
Yeah, I mean, words can't really describe how this makes me super emotional. I dreamed about this all growing up, and just to be able to represent this state that so many people have helped me and got me to this place where I've dreamed of being, and just to be with these girls and these coaches alongside of me, it's just more than words can describe.
Is it something, how hard have you worked? I mean, you worked hard to get here, but is it all paid off? And do you like where you are right now and have the opportunity to do that?
Oh, of course. I'm so grateful to be here, and I think transferring here was probably the best decision of my life. And so just to be in this position where we are competing for a Sweet 16, competing to continue to play, I think it's more than I could ever dreamed of.
Do we have any more questions for Coach or the players?
What would it mean to bring, I mean, you're advancing and keep advancing. What would it mean to bring a national championship to this community, this state, and to this university right now? I know it's a big goal, it's a big thing, but you're at the Sweet 16, and it happens pretty fast. What would it mean for you right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's getting a little ahead of ourselves. You know, it would be amazing to win this match. It'd be amazing to make it to the Final Four. You know, we can't just wish it and make it happen. So we're going to go, as soon as this is done, we're going to go and practice a little bit, and like we've been talking about, try to get a little bit better and play a really competitive match on Friday, and hopefully play on Saturday, and then see where that takes us.
Anyone else?
Yeah, just piggybacking off that, I think we're just focused on Nebraska right now. Obviously, that would be super exciting. It's fun to think about in retrospect, but right now, the prize is Nebraska.
What have you all been most proud about getting to where you are, maybe the first of the season, to where you are now?
You know, and these are all really good questions. It's tough in the middle of a season to think about the accomplishments that we've had. So we'll probably, at least for me, I'll think about what we've done this year after this year is over. A lot of people are congratulating all of us and talking about everything that we've done, and that, you know, our season's still going on, you know, and so we'll look back when it's done and talk about it. Right now, again, I know it's a boring answer, but it's a true answer. We're focused forward on what's coming next.
But you got to enjoy the ride a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, winning's better than losing, right? And that is absolutely true. And you know, I'm proud of what we've done from where we started. You know, but I still think we got room to grow.
You see maybe a little bit more extra bounce in Alexa's step, being from Colorado and having the opportunity to have this happen for her?
Well, Lex always has a lot of bounce in her step. So, yeah, I mean, I know that she's excited to be a part of this program, and we're excited to have her, obviously. And you know, everybody involved in this program right now is really focused on one thing, and focused on getting better and playing this weekend.
All right, if there's nothing else, thank you for coming and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
Sorry.